Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the Delaware Dynasty here on EA Sports College Football 26. And today, the Blue Hens return home to the Tub for our first featured FBS game of the season as it's nighttime again in Newark, Delaware as the 1-1 Blue Hens play host to the 1-1 UConn Huskies. Played one home game earlier this year. We beat Delaware State 20-17. We're coming off a loss last week to Colorado out in Boulder. So looking to bounce back with a win here against the Huskies, who have split their early season contest, kind of like us. They beat an FCS team in week 1, but then they lost week 2 to their rivals in Syracuse. So both teams looking for a win here today as we're underway with week number 3. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. And also, we're trying out a new slider set today, our first sliders. It's Mat 10s, the same slider set we rolled with in College Football 25. So let me know how you think it goes in this game. We'll see the Blue Hens start off with the football, and on the first carry, Saeed St. Fleur suffers a minor injury. That's not good. He would return, but can't really have any more injuries at halfback, considering we're already missing our top player in Jonathan Silver. Sack on second down, makes it 3rd and 7. Marker looks across the middle, and he's got Max Patterson up the middle for a nice first down out to the 43. It's a good third down conversion there. Keeps the drive alive as here's a handoff to St. Fleur, who's already back in the game. And he picks up 7 on his second carry. He had 13 for 57 against Colorado. It's been a little bit of a struggle for the run game thus far. He's on 2nd and 3, looking short. This one's dropped. Incomplete. As yes, we are missing Jonathan Silver, our best offensive weapon, for a couple more games. 3rd and 3, Marker looks short. This one's caught by St. Fleur, and they're going to give him the first down. Delaware is going to hurry back to the line of scrimmage. There's no ruling, so we'll keep the first down as they go with the screen, but it only gains 1 yard. Settling it back down now, 2nd and 9. Blitz from UConn is picked up, and Marker has nowhere to go, and he's sacked. Tyree Mills with the sack will bring down us to a 3rd and 19 now. As Marker back to the air, immediately rolls to his right, keeps his eyes downfield, fires, and he's got Max Patterson behind the defense, the speedy sophomore, into UConn territory. And now it's a red zone trip. From the 18, handoffs to St. Fleur up the middle, a good run for a first down. He's got 3 for 23 to start. Goal to go here for the Blue Hens. Back to St. Fleur up the middle. He gets inside the 5. Makes it 2nd and goal. See what the offense does here. They give it back to St. Fleur again, and he still can't punch it in. Struggling here within the 10-yard line, so now you got a 3rd and goal, and Delaware will go to the air now. Marker looking, doesn't like what he sees, just throws it away, and they'll settle for the 3. So a long drive only ends in 3 points, but here comes the Delaware defense and the UConn offense led by senior quarterback Joe Fagnato. Also look out for wide receiver Skylar Bell on the outside. First play will be a bubble screen out wide. This is Naeem Simmons, the USF transfer, who gains 4 on their first play from scrimmage. 2nd and 6 underneath center. It's another RPO, this time out to Simmons again, who gets maybe 5 more. And an early 3rd down here for the Huskies. Fagnato, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns last week in the loss. Trying to convert a 3rd down here. Gives it to Edwards on the ground, and he won't get there. Beautiful play on the outside by Dylan Worley. And that'll bring it into a very fast first quarter. UConn only had 1 full drive. Same with Delaware, as they lead 3-0. But we're in our 2nd drive, and we're deep into UConn territory. It's actually a 2nd and goal as we begin the 2nd quarter. As they bring a man in motion, Delaware trying to punch it in. It's a touch pass to Fall, but he won't get there. And UConn looking for another goal line stand. Nice tackle by Cam Chadwick, the impact corner. They bring a man in motion again. This time they fake the pitch, and UConn's not fooled. This one's luckily incomplete. Delaware will add another field goal, but you have to think that they could have probably got a little bit more. 6-0 is on 3rd down. Fagnato is sacked. That is Dylan Traynor on the blitz. That's another 3 and out for the Huskies. Defense has played really good today. Delaware faces their 3rd down on their next drive as well, as this one is incomplete. Had St. Fleur, but Marker not on the same page as his halfback, so the Blue Hens will punt for the first time today. As UConn gets the football back and actually starting to put the drive together here, but it quickly goes backwards. A holding call on left guard Ben Morawski, the junior, will negate the first down. So instead it's a 1st and 20 from their own 33. Fagnato to the air, looks outside, has a man open. Good route by Naeem Simmons. who has 9 for 144 and a touchdown so far this season. He's off to a quick start today, 4 for 38. So first down here for the Huskies as they go in the pistol. Delaware again brings a lot of pressure. It's picked up, and a man wide open down the field in single coverage. That is Chris Parker, the Central Michigan transfer, with his first grab of the day. 27 yards, now UConn in Delaware territory. From about the 16, Fagnano tries to run with it, and he actually bullies his way for a gain of 5. Makes it 2nd and 5 now. Symmetrical pistol here as they hand it off to Edwards up the middle, and Cam Edwards will gain a few. Dylan Worley is hurt on the play. He would be okay, just has to miss a little bit of some snaps. Third down now here for the Huskies. Fagnano to the air, underneath some pressure, rolls, and he's going to be sacked. That's going to be a big-time sack for the Blue Hens, as it will be Matthews with it. Noah Matthews, that is. And UConn will get on the board, though. It's 6-3 as they get a field goal of their own. Next drive here for the Blue Hens. It's a nice flat pattern for Saeed St. Fleur, who picks up 8. You can see the numbers for both quarterbacks. A lot more attempts for Delaware. It's all 2nd and 2. They try to run it again, but they won't get there. And Saeed St. Fleur again has to come off momentarily. Going to bring in the sophomore halfback, Oliver Red, the 3rd string. He gets the carry on 3rd down, and he will get the first down and a little bit more. Sheds an arm tackle before brought down by Chadwick. 1st and 10. Nice quick pass to Max Patterson for a first down. He's had a busy day, and here's another good drive for the Blue Hens. St. Fleur back in the game as well. As on 1st and 10, this one incomplete. Luckily, that wasn't picked off by Chadwick. 2nd and 10 now. UConn brings pressure, trying to dump it off short. St. Fleur has it, gets a first down. Beautiful running after the catch, and it's goal to go from the 1. We'll see if Delaware can punch it in this time, and St. Fleur will do just that. Touchdown, Blue Hens. Finally finding the end zone today. They now lead 13-3 as we'll head to the 2-minute warning. UConn facing a 2nd and 18 after a sack. As to the air goes Fagnano, looks short, has his man, tough grab, and it's caught. But it's a long 3rd and 13. How aggressive do the Huskies get? As they're letting a lot of clock drain off here, and they will go to the air. Fagnano with some pressure gets close to the marker, but he won't get it, and Delaware will burn a timeout. They're going to try to get points of their own because UConn does get the football at the beginning of the 2nd half. They have 40 seconds. They're at about midfield here. Is on 1st down. Marker throws it. It's behind Patterson, who can't make the adjustment. Tough try there. Should have maybe had it, but a better throw was probably needed. Instead, it's now 2nd and 10. Marker gets hit as he throws. He has taken a lot of hits today. That's something to be kind of nervous about. It's on 3rd and 10. UConn again brings pressure. He had Patterson, but misses him again. So that will lead to the end of the drive, and that will lead to the end of the first half, where Delaware leads 13-3. Blue Hens have been firmly in control of this game. They've dominated the time of possession. They've dominated on the offensive side. And the defense has looked really good, able to keep the Huskies to only 3 points. So we'll see if they can continue that, though, in the 2nd half, up by 10. UConn does start off with the football, and they'll begin with one of their bubble screens out wide. Here's Skylar Bell, but a very quiet first half. Only 2 catches for 16 yards for the Impact senior. 2nd and 1 now, as they'll hand it off to Edwards up the middle, and he will not get there. Run defense has been really good today, as Bell will momentarily come off the field. So we'll see if Delaware can take advantage on this 3rd and inches. They give it to Edwards, and there's a big hole up the middle. One of the better runs of the day for the junior halfback, as he has only 7 for 18 on the night. So a new set of downs now. Quick pass for the tight end, Lewis Hansen, who gains 3. And Fagnano is 11 for 12. He only has 1 incompletion today, and it was on a screen pass that he just threw in the ground. 2nd and 7 now, going back to the air. Fagnato's short. Tough grab is made. Actually sheds the tackle. Good job here by Chris Parker to get out across midfield. The yards after the catch. Outside handoff here for Edwards. He'll run into the defender, and he'll get put down after a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 now. Spread look here as it's a quick pass across the middle. A lot of traffic, but Parker comes down with it. It's another 3rd down for the Huskies. Can Delaware force them off the field? They'll go to the air. Fagnano looks right side. This one is caught. Tough grab is made by Simmons. 6 for 59 for the senior today. We knew the secondary was going to be a weak spot for this team, but they've kind of been getting carved up here in the 2nd half. Run a 4 on 1st down for Edwards. Makes it now 2nd and 6. As once the football does Fagnano, as he's going to quickly tuck. No, he's going to throw it across the middle right behind Trainer. I don't know what he was looking at. That's another grab, and Fagnano is now 15 for 16 today. came to the game completing 67% of his passes. That's going to go way up. It's now on goal to go. Here's a check down for the fullback who gains it to the 1-yard line. Carson Childress getting a rare catch. They'll try to punch it on the ground with Edwards, and they will. And UConn has their first touchdown of the day. A good drive for the Huskies to begin the second half. Ate up a lot of clock. They're now only down 13-10. Being the second half with the football here at their own 25 as Marker gets hit. Throws it out of bounds. That will be an intentional grounding. But Marker's just taken so many hits today. He seems like he's got a little bit of discomfort in his leg, and that's something to monitor. So a 2nd and 20 now. Marker in the pocket. We'll throw it short for Matt Thaw. Thaw will get 15 on the nice catch and run, make it a much more manageable 3rd and 5. Going back to the air. UConn with a heavy blitz, and one of them is going to get home free. Marker's hurt on the turf. He will stay in the game, though, as he comes out on the punt try. But now UConn has all the momentum, only down by 3, and they get a nice 3 and out there. It's on 1st and 10 off the play fake, wide open across the middle. It's Parker. He's got himself a first down. UConn at the 50. Play fake again. Fagnato, no pressure in the pocket. Going to tuck in and run this time. He's got plenty of room. Doesn't do this very often, but when you give him that much space, he's going to take advantage. 21 on the ground for the senior quarterback, and UConn now deep into Delaware territory. Got the 29. It's a keeper for Fagnato. Trying to, probably got a little too cocky there. Gets nothing as Noah Matthews puts him down for his 2nd TFL of the day. 3rd and 6 now here for the Huskies. A big play. It's a handoff. Edwards on the draw, and he will get the first down. Run defenseman lacking a little bit here in the second half. Maybe they're getting a little bit tired as he's up to 40 yards on the afternoon. Inside 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Quick pass to the tight end, Hansen again, and he will gain 5. And Fagnato continues to just be automatic. 2nd and 5. Play fake again. Looking. Rolls to his right. Fires. And this one is caught for a touchdown. Skylar Bell makes his presence known with the grab. His 4th touchdown of the season. And UConn with their first lead of the day leads this one 17-13 as the defense has just not shown up here in the second half. And you can say the same about the offense. It's been a complete 180 from what we saw in the first 2 quarters. Fagnato's been automatic. And we begin the 4th quarter, 3rd and 7. UConn with a heavy blitz. Marker throws it on the comeback, and it's out through the hands of Damon Brinson. That's another punt for Delaware. The offense has just not been here in the second half, but whose offense has been the Huskies. A huge run for Cam Edwards, breaking tackles. 13 for 72 now for the junior halfback. And UConn's offense looks almost unstoppable. 1st and 10, handoff Edwards, off tackle, gets some blocks. He's going to pick up about 4. 2nd and 6 now. Fagnato will go with a quick pass and gets some blocks. Here's Skylar Bell, and he will break a tackle for the first down. And UConn's offense, 23 for 24. I mean, come on now. You can't throw one incompletion. Out to the 25. Fagnato off the pump is going to hit an absolute dime to Bell. This guy is literally not missing. He's looking like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs out there. Goal to go here for UConn inside the 10. They hand it off to Edwards, and he will pound his way forward for about 5. Staying in the same formation, 2nd and goal. It's a touch pass, and it doesn't fool the defense. Kingsley Royal with a nice tackle there. He's been a highlight in the early portion of this season. Big 3rd and goal here, trying to force a field goal. They hand it off to Edwards up the middle, but he will find the end zone. Touchdown Huskies. 24-13 now your score, as they've had 3 straight touchdown drives in the second half, while Delaware's barely been able to move the football. 2nd and 8 here. Marker off the play fake, trying to run with it, and he's absolutely sandwiched. No protection on that offensive line. He's taking a beating today. And now it's 3rd and 11. UConn's just pinning the ears back. They're just blitzing everybody, and another huge shot on Marker. This time Ben Smiley, the Virginia transfer. And now we're at the 2-minute warning, and UConn's on the doorstep again. Goal to go from the 1. Off tackle run, untouched into the end zone. Touchdown Huskies. This game is essentially over. 31-13. UConn has just blown this game wide open. The backups would come in, and they're actually doing pretty good. This is the backup quarterback, Brown, who's leading a drive. And on 3rd and 10, he lobs one deep. And Sean Wilson with an absolute moss of a grab puts this down. Goal to go. We'll call a timeout with 1 second. Why not? Trying to score another touchdown today. Brown rolls to his right, fires short for Red, and he will find the end zone. And we have our first passing touchdown of the season. It's taken 12 quarters essentially, but we find the end zone in the air. So a little bit of a bright spot to end the day, but the Huskies will win this one 31-20 as we drop to 1-2 on the season in a game that was a tale of two halves. In the first half, it was all Delaware. Offense was moving the football, probably could have scored a little bit more points, and the defense was great. After the break, the complete opposite happened. The defense fell apart. They couldn't stop Fagnano in the offense, and our offense was non-existent. I think Marker took a beating today, same with St. Fleur, and once those guys were not on, we could not move the football. No separation downfield, and the Huskies are able to win it 31-20. Their quarterback was insane. Joe Fagnano only missed one pass all day, and it was a screen pass in the dirt. This slider set actually drops quarterback accuracy as well, so I'm not sure why they were so much better than Caden Salter in Colorado. It is one game sample size, but 26 for 27 is absolutely absurd. So we'll have to monitor that as we get deeper into the season, but hopefully it was just like a one game kind of out of the ordinary, because we saw that sometimes last year as well. Some of the other highlights, here's the top stories as the Heisman race heats up. Cade Klubnik trying to go number 1 overall in the draft next year, also at the top of the Heisman award. As Gainesville are separating to win over LSU in a big-time win for them as they get ready to actually face their in-state rivals in Miami next week. So the Gators with a tough stretch. We'll see if they can take advantage. And then Alabama goes down to Wisconsin. So a couple of weeks ago, the Badgers were upset at home by Miami, Ohio, and now they beat Alabama. Other scores in Week 3 on Thursday, Wake Forest beats their rivals in NC State. And then on Friday, Colorado with a Big 12 victory to open up conference play over Houston. And also in the Big 12, Arizona escapes Kansas State with a victory. The Wildcats feeling the loss of Avery Johnson, it looks like. Pittsburgh's the backyard brawl winners this year over West Virginia. Then Virginia Tech hangs 55 up on Old Dominion. Memphis goes on the road and beats Troy 21-16, while South Florida upsets Miami. The Hurricanes got the Florida Gators this week, but they struggled last week with the Bulls, so it's not looking good for them. USC beats Purdue on the road to begin their conference stretch, and then Duke goes to Tulane and wins 38-17. They're 3-0 with a nice win over an Illinois squad to their name. Michigan hangs up 66 on Central Michigan. Utah State over Air Force 35-21. While Notre Dame wins against Texas A&M 26-21. And Auburn dominates their in-state opponent in South Alabama 49-7. Oregon knocks off Northwestern 35-10 to get back in the win column. UCLA over New Mexico 30-17. And Wisconsin goes to Tuscaloosa and wins 20-14, trying to rewrite that ship. North Texas gets a win over Washington State 31-28, while Texas beats UTEP 38-20. That's a lot closer than I would have expected that game to go, but Texas still are obviously the number 1 team in the nation. Kentucky doubles up Eastern Michigan. Boston College with a nice road victory over Stanford, 36-14. Ole Miss beats Arkansas 42-31, as a lot of teams begin conference play this week. Oklahoma goes to Philly and beats Temple 48-7. Ohio State over Ohio by 10. We see Liberty on the road beat Bowling Green 38-20, and Iowa State dominate Arkansas State 42-3. Texas Tech puts 49 up on Oregon State in a blowout victory, while Minnesota will go to Cal and win 38-21. And Louisiana goes to Columbia, Missouri, and beats the Tigers 46-24. Missouri, what the heck happened in this one? Big win for the Raging Cajuns, who are 3-0. South Carolina up to number 5 as they squeak by a Vanderbilt squad. Clemson dominates Georgia Tech, their rivals, putting up 51 on them. And then SMU puts up 59 on Missouri State, who are also struggling to get accommodated to the FBS. Navy over Tulsa 27-14. Illinois bounces back after losing to Duke a couple weeks ago, beating Western Michigan in a blowout victory. Georgia beats their rivals in Tennessee 31-26. While Wyoming wins a shootout against Utah 44-41. Good win there for the Cowboys. Game of the week was in Death Valley. Florida won that one 28-10. Iowa beats UMass 28-20. Arizona State dominates Texas State to close out the week 38-13. As far as your players of the week on defense is D'Angelo Pons of Indiana, who had 3 picks, including a pick 6 in their victory. While Jamori Macklin of Kentucky had 15 for 241 and 2 scores in the win against the Eagles. Conference USA players of the week are Brendan Harris of Middle Tennessee and A.J. Williams of New Mexico State. As we take a look now at the top 25 rankings, Texas still sitting on top. Florida does pass Georgia with their big win against LSU and able to get a first place vote to their name, while the Tigers and Alabama and Miami are your biggest fallers this week. And Arizona State, who made the college football playoff last year, has entered the top 25. Here are your big games of week 4. We know Florida and Miami is probably the biggest one, while number 18 Auburn will actually travel to face number 10 Oklahoma. Michigan at Nebraska, and Illinois and Indiana, as a lot of teams start conference play this week, including your Delaware Blue Hens, who will play their first Conference USA game in their school history. They will head on the road to face the Florida International Panthers, who started the season 2-1 in a game where hopefully we can do a little bit better against. I think Florida International is a better squad than us, and it is on the road, but I don't think they're as talented as UConn. So I think the games are getting a little easier, and hopefully we can play a more complete game this week instead of showing up for a half, because I'd like to see the Delaware team that we saw in the first half, not the Delaware team that we saw in the second half today. So that'll be in the next episode. Thank you guys so much again for the support. Let me know in the comments section below what you think of the slider set. I will probably continue to roll with this one and get some more games on a sample size, and then we will make some adjustments if needed. But if you like the slider set, they are going to be in the description just like they are in all of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more Dynasty Mode content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.